So just saying before, been 10 days, well, will be come Saturday since your last game. What have you been working on and doing since then?
So naturally, we work on the opposition who we're going to be playing is Bristol Rovers, seeing their threats and also where we can exploit them. So within the 10 days we've been getting our physical work in and also getting our meetings in, seeing where we can be better as a team. But yeah, as a whole, what we've been doing is just focusing on the opposition, which, as it is, it's Bristol Rovers. So that's what we've been working on.
You speak about, is it like kind of classrooms going through strategies and kind of your gameplay and just nailing down, the identity that might be trying to create?
I wouldn't call it a classroom because it's not like school, but it's just literally, I think the reason why the gaffer and obviously the staff, there's people who are visual learners, there's people who they need to do it in order to learn, so it's just different ways of portraying the same message, so then everyone's in sync and they know exactly what they're doing. So when we have our meetings, it's sometimes it's actually of ourselves. We'll sometimes dissect training sessions. Sometimes we'll dissect previous performances, look at the things that we've done well, look at the things that we can do better, and also it's with all that, with the staff trying to explain what they want us to do, that ties in with what the medical team want us to do as well. So sometimes having a meeting is going to make sure that it doesn't take it out of our legs. The gaffer probably doesn't want us to be on the field too long, that it then becomes a negative thing for us. Like there's an adverse effect on our legs and our load. So all that's things that we don't need to worry about. All we need to worry about is the information that's being given and can we try and replicate that on the pitch. And there's many ways that they've tried to do that on the field and also through meetings.
You spoke a little bit about performances and reviewing performances. What have you made to the start of the season?
What do you mean by that, sorry?
Just like the performances, the results, like how would you evaluate that as well?
I would evaluate it. I'd say that we're on par with where we probably would want to be. We've had 6 league games, we've won 3 and lost 3. So you'd say that that's average. Of course, that's the maths, but always striving to be better. I think at this point of the season, I think we're doing a bit better than where we were last season. Don't want to keep talking about last season because it's a new players, new staff. There's a lot of new things, and within all of this, we're also still growing as a team. So it's not going to happen overnight, but there are a few things that we've worked on where the boys have actually grasped it. But there's other things that we know we can get better at, and that's only going to come with time. So where we are, I'd say that it's probably about right for us and where we are, but we wouldn't be we wouldn't be professionals if we weren't trying to get better always. We can look at previous games and could we have done better in certain games, 100%, but we can't be too greedy. Arguably when we played against Fleetwood, it probably wasn't our best performance, but we went and we got a clean sheet and we won 1-0. So against Lincoln, for the first 60, 70 minutes we were brilliant, but then we go and we lose that game 1-0. So you can't guarantee a result, but our aim is to try and get good performances, and if you do get good performances, it gives you good stead to try and get that result, and that's what we're working towards.
When you look at the results, it goes like win, lose, win, lose.
Yeah.
How do you strike that consistency of just putting together performances and maybe those games that you've lost, maybe grinding out a draw in those games? How do you just strike that consistency throughout?
That's a great question. Like I said, we don't want to be a yo-yo team where we win and then lose, win, lose. You're trying to get that middle ground and get that consistency. You probably would have heard it loads and loads of times where you try and win your home games, and if you can get a draw away, you're in a good place. It's not always going to work like that. Sometimes you can go away and win games too. But your bread and butter is if you can try and be solid at home and try and win your games there, if we can, we will, and we'll try. But to get that consistency is it's for us to really work on a training pitch and really get that information across, because there's a lot of not ideas, but there's a lot of different plays, different set pieces, etc. There's a lot of information that is probably new to a few of the lads, and it's just a case of everybody singing off the same hymn sheet. So I think once we keep doing what we're doing and repetition, the more and more people are going to understand what the staff want, and hopefully we can get consistency from there.
This is the first time I spoke to you since you've become captain.
Yeah.
How are you finding that role?
It's definitely an honour to be captain. The only time I've probably been captain was previously when I was in non-league. So it is good to be captain. Leadership qualities, for me, I'd like to think that they were there before, and I was trying to support previous captain in Luke Leahy last season. Like other players were, like Flannel and your Benos and the senior players, we all chipped in when we needed to. And the role for me is to not change too much how I was. It's because I'm captain, I don't want people to think that, oh, I've got to, not necessarily go head and above, because I feel like that's what I should be doing anyway. It's different because, like you said, my relationship with the gaffer is, I'm like the bridge between the coaching staff and obviously the players. But it's definitely an honour, and it's something that I have to take seriously. And if I can lead the team, if I can lead 1 or 2 or 3 players, then I feel like I'm doing my job. And then there's going to be other senior players who are also as good, that could be captain in my eyes. It's good to have 1 captain, but it's better to have 11, in the playing 11 or more. So we've got a lot of captains in there. It's not just me. Just because I wear the armband, it's not just me. So I might influence 5, 6 players. You'll have Benno, you'll have Flannel, you'll even have Fiends. Fiends was a captain in his previous club, so that's a captain already. He's going to influence 4 or 5 people too. And if we can all go down the same, avenue and strive for the same things, then hopefully we can have a successful season. But it's definitely an honour to be captain, and may that continue and allow me to keep leading the team in the right direction.